Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Lighting Your Sunshine, where we like to shine a light within and empower ourselves. So today, where did I put them? I had them. I was going to show you what cards we were going to use. Oh, there they are. Okay, so the very first ones I felt drawn to was the Divine Guidance. I swear. Oh. Too funny. Not that one. Then we were drawn to the Spirit cards, Sacred Spirit. And then last but not least, they told me to use the Guardians of the Night Tarot. And I must admit, when I saw that one, I kind of cringed inside, only because I've been having an amazing day. I felt like the energy and the vibes are just so amazing. And last time we used these cards, like these tend to be like shadow work cards. So it was a little bit like, oh no, like I know nothing bad is bad, but sometimes you just don't want to dwell in it. And I told them, I'm like, I know it's not bad, but, and then they came in and I thought this was awesome. But they're like, oh, I just saw one. They said, we're going to use these today because something major, a cycle, something that has been really troubling has finally been completed. Like they said that whatever it is that's been disturbing the peace, disturbing your peace, it's no longer has effect. You really did some deep shadow work, and like I heard like a round of applause. So I'm excited now. So should have been excited before. I was, but yeah, last time we did those readings, it was all about like a goblin queen. And I was like in the best mood, and then they like, I swear to God, my guides came in, lit me on fire, and then like pushed me into that reading. And they're like, this is a Phoenix Rising moment. And I got so triggered in that one reading because it was a total disregard for whoever that message was for. There's all these outside people, and they thought that they were better, thought they knew better, thought that they could control someone else's decisions and things like that. And it was just a total lack of respect. So I think that's what triggered me, because it was kind of like a series of a couple readings. I don't know if this is tied to that. I don't think it is, but we'll shake up the cards and see what wants to come out. So which one's first? We're going to do the Sacred Spirit ones. The number 30 just popped out to me. I don't know the significance of that. They're showing me the 3, as in like mind, body, spirit, soul, whatever. And then the 0 as like a big goose egg, like starting over. Something has been completed. It kept showing like the circle and how you can get stuck in it. But with the 3 coming together, it broke out of it. And so now it's almost like a reset of the score, I heard. So, cool. Oi! Yeah, that's the first one to come out. Oh, first 2 to come out. So this one's in reverse. What are they saying? So it says, emotional challenges resolve the issue. And then underneath it is the energy signature. The past is in the present. And this was in reverse because the past has no holds over you ever again. And I think that's what it was. Remember that 0 and that cycle? It's like different places, different faces, same bullshit. But not anymore, because I feel like whoever this is resonating with, I feel like something may have really triggered you. A moment might have happened, and then you had this realization, and you're like, enough is enough. Like, I can't do this anymore. And realizing that it's not outside of you, that was the circumstances. It's just what manifested. So I see like going within, and the more you went within, the deeper, right? Going through the lake into the super dark, deep subconscious where the fears are. And once you kind of shone a light on the fears, I feel like that's the energy signature. You realized the pattern. So now I'm hearing that this is the 3rd time that this is played out. And so you finally understood how it happened, because the other 2 times were more reacting, whereas the first time something happened. I see the energy split. I see kind of like how it's like full there. Something shattered, and now realizing that was like the rescue moment, going back to that inner child moment and just loving yourself for the way that you are. Yeah, with this emotional challenges, I kind of see this as like a moth, and moths to me are like more dark, nighttime, right? They go for the light, but I see this as like a blindfold almost on it, and not understanding why does this keep happening over and over and over again. So let's shake up the dark things that kind of, because I do feel like obviously there's a little bit of inner child work. But I was just talking to my friend, and she's a shaman, and we're talking about soul retrievals. And I was like, how, let's say you don't know, right? You don't know you fractured at a moment. How do you know you have to like go back and do a soul rescue mission? Especially if it's like something that happened in a past life. Like you wake up in this life, you don't know what happened in that life. How do you know you need to go back and get a piece? And she just kind of explained it like, okay, so think of like your inner child at like your happiest day. Like that's almost like whole and healed and like the full you, right? It's just like you have this excitement for life. Like you wake up, you're like, what can we do now? You can dream, you have goals, like a can-do kind of attitude. And when you have like a moment or like trauma or something, she said, you kind of split, like things shatter. And then this is the part that I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. She said, let's say you're like whole. Is there anything? Yeah. So you're whole, right? And then all of a sudden something happens and this emotional challenge happens and it kind of like fractures you. And I always thought that like what leaves you there is the trauma or the broken part. But how she explained it is when you have that soul fragment kind of moment, it's the healed part of you that stays there. And that to me was like a click, click, click. Like, of course, right? That's that joy, right? Your joy is gone. So let's see what cards I pulled. So we have the Eight of Wands, and the main thing, Eight of Wands is like quick movement, but I see like the snake skin there, and it looks like it's shed. I feel like whatever this aha moment, it was really quick. So the next ones to come out was the Magician in reverse, and then you have the Devil in reverse. So same, what did we say? Different faces, different places, same thing happening over and over again. Finally having this eureka moment, that this Magician in reverse. How do I see that? I see that as someone trying to manipulate something for their benefit. It's kind of like greedy, it's conniving, and I see the Devil in reverse as you breaking free of that. That there was just this really super karmic thing that really stole your joy, stole your thunder. And in that moment of understanding that, that's where this like shedding and rebirth moment happened. What I am being drawn is behind the bird. There's like a sun or a moon. I know these are all nighttime, but it's like the red moon. But I see that almost as the sun for some reason. So let's do these ones. And I love these ones, Divine Guidance, because there's no words or anything. It all is just like random. It's almost like those psychological pictures and like, what do you see within this? So you really get to tap in and use your imagination. I need 3 of them. 2 and 4. Okay. What I really felt drawn at first, okay, these two kind of look like they go together. And then this was the first one to come out, and then this one. And I kept seeing this as like flowers and nectar and joy. And then I don't know how I see these ones yet, but the bluish purple, and when you go up real close, it kind of looks like flowers. So I thought that was cool. And then this. So what are you telling me, Spirit? in the past. This one says energy signature. So a lot of us are like, that's just the way I am. That's just my personality. That's just something about me. But there was a need to look at a hard truth within, that there was something within you that you didn't like, something that you knew was being a little bit deceiving and lying. And it's so hard when we see ourselves that way, right? It's so easy to think that everyone outside of us does these things, but what within you, right? I have this kind of belief. I don't know how much it really goes deep, but right, everything outside of you is a projection. And so when something comes to you, I think you must have it within you somewhere, or else it wouldn't exist, or it won't come to you, or there's a lesson, or there's a something in it. And so I see this as like real deep blueness, and it's just like, oh, that's just how I was raised. Oh, and not really taking accountability. And because you don't take accountability, that kind of put it into this like double energy. And it was actually 111 when I saw that. So when I looked at that, I was drawn to the heart down there. Sometimes we have these things that we have like walls and protective barriers, and it's not healthy for us, but we say it is. We convince ourselves, we tell it's true, but really it's all blue. It's real sadness, and it's nothing, but we wear a mask to ourselves, and we don't really listen because, well, our heart got hurt and we don't want our heart to hurt again. So I'm just going to shut things down. I'm not going to feel, I'm not going to anything. And that's just how I am. You know, I'm an asshole because that's just how I was raised, or I am who I am type energy. But I see someone actually like looking in the mirror and being like, I don't know what this mask is, especially like jackalope. What kind of animal is that? Is it even real? Well, it's not. And so there's a need to actually like, what is the truth? What is real? And I keep seeing all these beautiful flowers. But in this sadness, by finally looking and taking off that mirror and being like, a jackalope isn't a real thing. It's just a rabbit that we put horns on. And understanding that blue situation, that there is beauty still in it. And once you see that beauty, that's where duality kind of comes in. The good, the bad, the ugly, the good. It's the yin and the yang. So I see someone almost taking like the negative path. Like, I don't need to try. I don't need to do any self-reflection. I don't need to work on myself. And then finally, something happened one day. And it's so subtle, they said. It's almost like that this pattern has happened over and over and over again. And then I see whoever it is finally waking up and understanding it wasn't outside of them. It was how I was thinking, how I was feeling, all those things. And that's where that like rebirth moment came. And it was really quick. And it hurt. It's bringing me back to the heart. When we finally have that moment, like, oh crap, like I am the one, I'm the chaos, I'm the whatever. I created all this for myself. I'm the one that keeps hurting my feelings because I didn't have boundaries, because I didn't speak up when I should have, because I didn't go for my dreams, because I let someone else think they were more powerful than me, or I tried to hurt someone else so that I could get ahead. Like all these little things. And I didn't get to enjoy the moment. That's what I see. I see someone being like, damn, I wish I enjoyed the fruits or the nectar of life a little bit longer, taste the sweetness. And when I looked at that one, it was almost like this is the light. And it's almost like I see spirit of like the higher vibration. It was always there. It was always like offering its hand, and someone not thinking that they're worthy for whatever that was. And so there I see like the hand, and it's all these tears, and it's caught it. And that's almost like what spirit has done for this person in this moment. I feel like the veil got ripped so quick, And then it was like, I saw the world this way, and all of a sudden I didn't see the world how it was at all. Everything shifted because whatever is within you has to come up and out and manifest outside of you. So that's what I'm kind of seeing. And let's see here. I see shame. I see the realization of, well, shoot, I really wanted it to be someone else's fault, but with these emotional challenges, I almost feel like whoever this story's for, they would never cry. And so to actually see this waterfall and the crying and the catching it in the pool, it's like, well, whatever, their loss. But instead of like apologizing, I feel like someone needed to apologize and they didn't apologize. And they're like, I'm just going to go on my way. I'm going to continue on. I don't need anyone. I don't need anything. And then like the pattern playing again and again and again and again. And so that moment of like finally realizing, well, a jackalope isn't a real animal. I'm the one who's created all these things because I keep playing the same. I keep reacting. Spirit keeps giving me these lessons and I keep reacting the same way every single time, but not this time. Finally, that's what they say. It's like we just like kept bringing it to you. We really wanted you to learn this lesson because whatever it was you being able to accept like a golden cup. It's a golden opportunity. It's a cup of love. It's, I don't know, it's just gold. That's what I keep hearing. So whatever the cup is to you, like it's meant to be full. It's meant to be overflowing. But in the previous mindset, it was lack, it was empty. And I also see someone always like giving their cup to the wrong people. And it was always empty. And Spirit's like, we weren't going to give you a full cup until you learn to take care of your cup. And as I said that, I looked down here at the Magician, and there's a cup on the card. So this one was like a little bit sneaky, manipulative in some way, even the words conniving. But I think raccoons get a bad rap, right? Little trash pandas. But I'm being drawn to, actually it's just really funny because yesterday on my Instagram stories, I shared a little video of a raccoon catching bubbles. And I just thought it was so cute. But now I'm being drawn again to, I'm gonna share this story too. I went camping one time and my dog was losing his mind. And I remember my parents like getting him in trouble. Like, you're a bad dog. But, and they even took him and they're like, you can't be here. And like they went home, drove home, put the dog back home. We lived like ridiculously close. But, and then the next night, all these little baby raccoons came up and out of this hollow tree. And they're telling me the hollow tree is important. Remember the hollow tree. I always do that and then I look back at the video, I'm like, oh, I forgot to go back. Hollow tree. Anyway, so they all like came out and they like came to like my rubber boots and you got to like play with them and they were so cute and so adorable. But that's what I'm seeing this as. You're meant to be like working in the upright. The Magician is able to manifest everything, right? There's cups, there's wands, there's pentacles, and there should be swords. I don't know where it is on here, but it has all the elements to make everything work. And so by putting on this false mask and pretending to be something that you're not, by protecting your heart, well, I don't feel feelings. Yes, you do. And maybe they didn't come out before, but man, do I see a flood coming out. And it needed to. It did, because the heart was being so, I'm almost getting like claustrophobic feeling. It wants to breathe. And there was lots of times that Spirit wanted to come and like co-create and like give these opportunities, but you need the heart in order to manifest. So whatever it is that you've just finally gotten through, this click, eureka, aha moment, like Spirit's just around and I just keep seeing like huge standing ovation. There's so many I just keep seeing a circle, a golden circle encompassing, and you might have been annoyed with yourself for your breaking moment. Again, like feelings of like, how could I, like that, like regret, shame, those kind of things. But that was the feeling that they wanted you to feel, to finally feel, to stop and feel the feels. And because you did, I almost see like the dam broke and now the heart's wide open. And it was so hard. Whenever we're in those moments, right, those call for surrender, do you know how hard it is to surrender? For some of these people in this story, like it's been almost their whole lives. Like something might have happened at childhood and now they're almost grown adults. And to finally have that surrender moment, Spirit's like, we brought you this lesson so many times to have it, to open your heart and choose love and light. But I just see someone's mind be like, I know better, I don't need this, blah, 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 whatever. But the heart knew what it wanted. And so anything else, the hollow. Let's pull on the hollow tree. 1 and 1. Where's the other ones? There they are. 1 and 1. Okay. So when I was shuffling, I was drawn to the magician and how he's holding that one wand or rod. And then I pulled the 7 of wands and it was in reverse. And I saw like the tree and the hollow, and it almost got like hollowed out, and it got like, I saw it like kind of like take like a core and then cut it up into the rods, and I saw it as like a stick that someone constantly got hurt with. What about it? Hold up, I'm not getting something. For some people, it was a matter of like safety or something, right? I'm seeing like getting your butt spanked, those kind of things. But what? Okay, I'm starting to get. I'm confused. Listening to the wrong person, getting led astray. So I see like there's the main one and then there's all these other ones kind of listening to him. But over here, like there's spirit. And it's like, think for yourself, be yourself. But this person, I see like rules with like an iron fist kind of thing. Like, you do what I say, or, right, you're gonna get spanked or something. Like, I feel like that's like a kid. It could be like an authority figure type thing. And so just kind of trusting the wrong something, believing that someone was stronger, more mightier than that. They knew the right choice to kind of make, but it seemed like this one had more power and influence. So it's like something that chose power and influence over it is the thing that actually was the thing that hurt the soul way deeper and much more, and made them feel hollow and less than if they had actually done the blossoming and reached for the light. You would have been ostracized out of this group, but yeah, you were part of the group or whatever it is. For some people, I get that it's not a group thing, but it could almost be like society, going with societal norms or something. It's just not following the intuition. There's no heart in that one. So I did pull 2 more. And what was it? We have living light energy, where it says see the beauty in life. And then we have clear and activate, create sacred space. Oh, okay. That makes sense. I'm just uncomfortable. And I think that's it. It's like you had to finally like admit to yourself that you're just uncomfortable. That the way things had been going, that la la la, putting my head in the sand, pretending that I'm something that I'm not, it builds up over time, right? Hanging out with like people who don't fill up your cup. Why? Because these are all in reverse. And so I see that as everything becoming solidified and not flowing and not moving, where it should have been like liquid light and like in the flow. And so I see that crying, that surrender, that realizing something within yourself that you didn't like is that clear and activate, right? You finally had time to remove it. So now there's this hollow feeling. And that's what I'm kind of getting, is like, that's the feeling that was so scary, to be alone, to feel nothing, to whatever this is. I've tried so hard not to feel this. I've tried so hard not to go within and be my own sovereign being, right? Sometimes we do need to go into hermit mode and kind of do like a little bit of self inventory. And moments come up from the past, but we're like, no, I don't want to deal with that. But sometimes you got to deal with it. You have to look at it, not with rose-colored glasses, not with pessimistic glasses, but clarity. And so with that, that's where I see that finally opening up. I almost see this as like, I see this one as this little deer over here. And you know what? I just saw a whole herd of deer go across the road the other day. And to me, deer are so spiritual. I had a moment in my life where actually, speaking of how I said in that past reading, they like lit me on fire. So I've always had a fear of fire, because I understand just what one tiny mistake could happen. How one simple cigarette could cause such a huge destruction. And I created a fire once, and it did a lot of damage. And yeah, that's what I kind of see, like clearing all that. But that night, I went home and I felt called to drive a different way. I didn't go home my normal way. I went a totally different way. And as I did, and I pulled into town, there was this deer standing in the middle of the road. And it was different. It like, in the middle of concrete, it stopped in the middle. It looked at my car. I felt something, and then it like went on its way. And so every time I see a deer come, I know that the cycles or life or something is going to shift to the next one, that you can't go back to the old. You can't. That cycle is done, right? It's like that shedding of the skin moment. And so to actually see like this whole herd go past, I was like, damn, something huge is happening right now. And yeah, so I see that deer as a cycle, as a shift. Here we are. And I see spirit kind of like assisting. It's like, okay, it's time. And once you cried, that's when they're like, all right, finally there's space. It's empty now. So now we can go in and we can add this light. This says living light, seeing the beauty in life. Once you have that hollow moment, right? I keep seeing someone just trying to be busy all the time, scrolling, going to hang out with friends, going to something. But what I see in this moment is like having this regret or this deep feeling you didn't want. It brought tears to your eyes. I almost see someone dropping on their knees and like praying to the universe. Like, please help me. And in that moment, because it was finally empty, they're like, that's all we really truly wanted. We wanted you to soak up all the beauty and the nectar of life. We know that Earth is a very hard place to be, and there is duality, but there's beauty in both of it. This one says, living light energy, see the beauty. There's beauty in this sadness. Look close and you will see it. But if you are constantly trying to stimulate yourself you can't see. So that's what I see. Finally, they're like, finally, we can finally give them what they want. They have stopped being like, I know the best, and I'm pretending to be whatever you've been kind of running away from, the heart. And I see like all these, like, look at this, like, snake energy. I see it like wrapping around the heart and just kind of hiding it and constricting it. But there was this moment, and it was so instant. It may not have felt instant, because I feel like that drop to the knees moment and be like, I'm sorry, universe. You're already instantly forgiven, because they kept giving you this lesson, because life is hard. And if you can learn from it and you can grow from it, you're already forgiven. Spirit wouldn't have given you that lesson. If they didn't forgive you and they had already written you off, they wouldn't have wasted their time on you. But they've held space this whole time. Even when you were listening to these false egos, it was there. It was like, okay, I see them, but we're not going to go too far, just in case. And I feel like there's been a lot of moments where it's like, just in case, just in case. And this energy is like, nope, nope, nope. And then finally it did it. And because of that, 8 of Wands, boom. I see the dropping, I see the tears, I see the clearing. And then it's almost like they're bringing me back to that 30. Maybe it could be a whole month, but I kind of see it as like 3 days later. What happened in those 3 days? It got lighter, and it got lighter, and it got lighter, and it got more beautiful, and life got more exciting, right? You stop and smell the roses. I feel like before it was like that mask and pretending, but now that the heart's in it, you can breathe. And when your heart's in it, there's smells that you've never smelled. There's colors that you've never seen. Tastes, like all our senses are engaged. And the heart is the one that finds the art and the beauty and the everything in it. Woo! And so I just want to pull one last card. No, they said 2. And then we can wrap it up. Oh, my hand did not want to shuffle, but it's coming out anyways. So we have align your universe. It's time to navigate distractions. And that was in reverse. To be honest, I've been like pulling cards for myself. I don't remember if some of these cards were in the past readings. It's been a couple days. But I did see this the other day. Align your universe. Avoid distractions. And then we had the Chariot in reverse. So that's what I feel like is happening right now. For some, you may feel like you need to go out. You need to go force change. But you don't. All you need to do is stop. Put the brakes on and navigate the distractions. A clear mind. Look at that. There's even flowers all over this. There's something to do with flowers. You know what? I really gotta go get the flower deck. Oh, there it is. Flowers. That's the last one, and then we'll wrap it up. I feel like there's something, and you know what? Flowers kind of hold like an essence. Each one, especially like, well, if you think about it, I'm seeing like essential oils, and you can use it for different healing properties, but actual flowers themselves leave an imprint. So which one should we bring in for this reading, Spirit? It's that one. It's patience. Have patience with yourself in this process. You might be feeling hollow. You might be feeling numb. You might be mad at yourself for whatever it is that you just had a realization of, that you had not listened to your heart. But that's exactly what Spirit wanted this whole time. So the begonia. Your prayers have been heard and they're being answered. And that's that surrendering, like, where's that card? This one. Let them go, they said. I was drawn to this one. And what did Spirit say? They said, you spent so much time trying to impress these others, and these others never even cared about you. When you look at the surface, there's that pink flower. You practice so much patience with them, and they didn't give you anything. If anything, they saw you as just a little minion follower type thing. And you keep trying to force something that's not meant to be. You keep trying to make it work, but in the end, you lose your freedom, you lose your sovereignty, and they're going, I don't know, I heard they're going to bite the hand that feeds them. And I almost see like this one as the leader, or these ones always trying to impress this one, but this one tells them what to do. These ones are tinier. And so I feel like this one stays here and they're like, okay, go out and get whatever. And then you bring it back. And then if it's not happy, it's going to snap. And that's what I see, someone being like on eggshells all the time. And they keep trying to like impress this alligator that you just can't impress. And so that's what they said. Let them go. I see them off over there and I see you here. Feeling numb, feeling hollow, not part of something, not whatever. It didn't work. I tried so hard to make that work, but it's not working. And the more and more that you deplete yourself, will make you feel numb and hollow, even more so. It's worse to be lonely in a group, if this is about a group session, than to actually be alone and happy with your company. There's heart healing happening here. Be gentle with yourself during this process. Movement will happen. And you know what? Look at that. There's a heart right there. And guess what? Chariot was in reverse. And now the heart is the right way up. No. It's not. But that's how I saw it. I almost saw it as like... by you stopping, by spirit stopping the momentum of everything, by you just being in hermit mode for a bit, that's when you finally got to do the heart healing. The more and more you kept chasing all these flights and fancies and things outside of yourself is when the heart, I don't know, I hear the heart's like back there. It's trying to catch up. You left it behind. Your mind said, oh, we don't need this. And you left it. So that's why I see things stopped. You're uncomfortable. I feel like some have already gone through this process and some are going through it right now. So if you're going through it right now, it's going to be uncomfortable. I'm seeing on here the chickens and like hearing, why did the chicken cross the road? And I'm hearing he didn't because the chariot's in reverse. So stopping that, facing that fear of whatever it is that makes you uncomfortable, makes you feel a little bit chicken, and just being. There's some skin to shed still, some like beliefs and things like that. And it says have patience with the process. Don't try to force anything to happen before it's ready to happen. And enjoy the process. Just one last one. I said the last one was the last one, but it's time to simplify your life. You've had so much going on that you're spread too thin. This has to change now so that your vitality can recharge. The heart hasn't been in it. And if the heart pumps all the blood to everywhere, right? And that's what feeds your muscles, and your muscles are the things that contract and get you going. If you don't have heart, you can't move. And so just stop, listen, and feel uncomfortable. As uncomfortable as it is, it's saying simplify your life. Over here, it just seems like so much going on. Let it go. Let things go. I feel like that feeling, let it come up and let it go. Cry if you have to cry. Don't try to avoid it. Don't try to hide the feeling, because as I first started this reading, I heard that it was an end of a cycle, an end of an era, an end of a something. And so for majority of this reading, Spirit already told me you kind of already went through this dark night of the soul where you hit your knees on the ground, you cried, you bawled. You understood things finally, why everything happened the way it did. And in it kind of brought that peace, because spirit isn't going to abandon you. And for some, I heard you thought that they did, but they were just there behind. They can't go in and interfere, and this is not their environment. This is not their stomping ground. So they let you do you, because that's what we have, free will and duality, and life is awesome that way. But they were always there. And there were always these like flowers, kind of, the seeds have always been planted, and they were going to sprout. And once it reached the light, I almost see like that light, I see it coming up and then reaching the third eye. And then boom. Oh, I didn't understand things. If I had understood things, I would have done everything differently. And they don't want you to think that way, but you did what you did. And if you didn't do it that way, you wouldn't have this moment right now of clarity. Who knows what you would have been? You would have been off some other way. You might not even have been on the right path. Like you just don't know. So don't be hard on yourself. Have patience and sit in that uncomfortableness. Because once I feel that numbness, that hollowness, it's such a good thing. Because in my story, little baby raccoons were in there, and those baby raccoons came out and they were so freaking adorable and cute. But in this story, the raccoon is the magician. You didn't have the sight, you didn't have the ability to create as much as you wanted to in the past. Things you might have been out there and forced change, and then it didn't work out in your favor because it wasn't in the flow. The heart wasn't guiding this mission. I'm seeing some people, it's like a valve on their heart. Some things were like wide and open and some not. And it's so scary to be open and vulnerable and share your heart. So of course we got walls and we got like vaults and all these things. But in this hollowness, once it's hollow, once I see you empty and finally cry or release or whatever that is, I see spirit coming in and filling you up, wrapping their arms around you. And I feel like there is a little bit of a cocoon. I'm hearing gestation period. I didn't say that right, but I heard it. And then after that, it's like this unveiling, and then the chariot will go in movement, and you'll be wiser. You won't be a fool. You'll be a magician. And what does the magician do? It's able to tap into all elements and create. So you're going to have that, because you have the heart and that joy to see things again. You can hope and dream and actually make your dreams come true. So with that, we'll leave it there. I hope you have a good day. Congratulations for those who actually just hit the rock bottom. It was the scariest thing. It's such a scary moment. I was ready to say goodbye. But no, it is so scary to have that and look at yourself as if, what the heck? And then find compassion for that still. That is beautiful. And again, so scary. So congratulations because of that. There's so much to come. Like, you've shed a skin and you don't have to do that cycle again. You're done. And so on to the next. So with that, we'll leave it there. Have a good day and we'll see you next time. Bye guys.